I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah, God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God and Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turned on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to somethings. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. And stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God, it's never our vernacular. They get
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me hear you. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, deep my stomach, paranoid, yeah. I won't let them yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, deep my stomach, paranoid, yeah. I can't let them yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with purchase, now that hair by numbers veins. You started with service, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I won't let them yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid, yeah. I can't let them yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost see, I glossed to it, shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the feds, giving names. Who gon' feed my family if they take me out the game? Keep one in the head and one eye open, that ain't change. I'm quick to catch a body. When I shoot, he shoot, I know bro shooting right beside me. Them hollow tips go through the wall and then they hit his body.
Niggas died at 65. Yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is, nigga, you always got something to say. It's like you don't shut up.
Blazing on the track.
A lot of niggas died 1865. Single Michael fled high, I ain't gon' let it ride. Everybody hollering black was never on your side. They do maps to tell your apps where you sleep at night. They put that white man on. Got you begging them for answers like that white man know. Had you swearing you was African, that's that white man home. Had you proud to be a savage, that's that white man's zone. And I ain't talking shit, this by definition. And being savage was our nature, y'all be non-existent. We done took your ass out when we was in them kitchens. Instead of showing you how to live and how to maintain business. White supremacy fake. Only way that shit real is if you do what they say. We the guards of the gate, so when they say they fear God.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
They won't see me. They won't let me yeah. I got a gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the strap. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I put attention, all of my blood, all of my veins. They started with perky, now that hair right up his veins. You started with serving, now them drugs drove you insane. Started with dealing, I grew up with killers, they taught me the game. I got some niggas that die behind, and that shit won't never the same. I know some niggas that lie behind, and that bullet had his name. Ain't no reason to cry about, cause that shit won't never change. MTF the 4th and P, my niggas can't get out the game. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I won't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah. I gotta sleep with one eye open, tripping, making me nervous. I take a piss, my hand on the stern. I know the odds wanna murder. I got a feeling, keep my stomach paranoid. Yeah. I can't let them, yeah. They won't see me, yeah.
Lost, see, I glossed too, we shit ain't been the same. Heard the ops talking to the
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. Alleyway.
Coco, this your season right now.
Hey, Diddy, see my life has been in motion. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back, got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jam. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. It's that feeling in your stomach, you can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, that snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it, that's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it.
Shout out to everybody in the building. I want to give a special shout out to everybody in the building. This is your brother, Aboriginal Power. Y'all can just call me AP. This is the Wake and Bake Show for those that's around the world that is indulging on the cannabis or CBD herbs. Make sure you light your backwood joints or your bonga, man. This is the Wake and Bake Show, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you enjoy some of the musical content that you heard during the intro, make sure you go to Hellyway on all streaming platforms. Hellyway, that's HELLYWAY 24K. Hellyway 24K. Make sure you go check them out on all streaming platforms. This is most of the music you hear is not out on the streaming platforms. This is all unreleased music. So shout out to my brother Hellyway for allowing me to play some of his unreleased music that is fire. I listen to it all day, every day. Got a whole catalog, probably a list of 100 songs that I listen to. I'll probably let you guys hear at least 10 of those. So y'all done heard 10% of his songs, and all of them fire. All of them are fire. Shout out to everybody that is in the building. Y'all see the title. The truth behind Andrew Tate and the arrest for kidnapping, human trafficking, and the R word. Now, we'll get into a little bit behind this. I was going to cover this whole situation probably about a few days ago when it initially happened. I got busy, and I had it set up for the day that it happened. I just got busy. I didn't get around to it yesterday. And so I'm just now getting around to it today. So we're going to cover it today, dealing with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is a mixed martial arts kickboxer and also has a webcam business that obviously he's make lucrative money off of. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But before I do, man, I want to give a special shout out to everyone that is in the chat, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy my time and content that I put out, man. Hey, like I said, 2023, I'm no longer going to be doing bills every day. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I'm gonna cut back. I'm not gonna say I'm just gonna do once a week, but I'm not gonna be doing 5 to 7 a week no more. So Shout out to everybody in the building. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the Wake and Bake show. I fucking love you guys when y'all come in. I love to have these conversations. Love to see the faces I've been seeing in this chat for over the last 5 to 6 years, gathering and elevating their consciousness and perspective, and also their information and updating their research. So I definitely admire you guys. It's 2023, man. It's a lot of work we're gonna be putting it in for 2023. So yeah, man, it's gonna be one of them years, man. Also, man, I need everybody to hit the like button. If y'all have not hit the like button yet, politely and respectfully, please hit that like button. If you can share the live stream on your social medias, such as TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Drop a fire emoji in the chat. You know what I mean? Share the live stream for your brother. You know what I mean? Drop a fire emoji for your brother. All right, so man, let me take my time out to shout out some of the brothers and sisters in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Let me shout out some of y'all. Hey, also, man, don't forget to support the channel. If y'all want to know how can I support the channel, how can I support the channel and send a donation in to let Big Aboriginal Power know we enjoy it. Well, Cash App and PayPal information is at the bottom of the screen, ticking across. It's ticking across at the bottom of the screen. So let me shout out some of my brothers and sisters that's in here. Shout out to Eastside 1415, Jaguar Clout. Shout out to Jaguar Clout. Who else we got? We got Jaguar Clout in the building. Juan Torres, Mark Walker, Chief Colas. Shout out to Chief Colas. Chicka Harmony Roots, family and friends. Shout out to you. Saint Jerome, nonetheless, my big brother. Nonetheless, the realest N-word alive. Grenville Hopkins, Darius Matthews, Mansa Musa, Prince Justice L. Bay. And shout out to you. Smoke Signal. We got my brother Smoke Signal in the building. Raven Hawk and Veronica Grayson. We got Glizzy Glock. Too many Glockies. We got Glock in the building. Shout out to Glock in the building, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm not gonna hold you guys up with it longer. Let's get into it. Before we get with the initial arrest, let's go back 6 months ago dealing with Andrew Tate. We're gonna go back about 6 months pertaining to him.
Andrew Tate has recently been platformed by some of the biggest streamers and podcasters, causing his popularity to increase by a lot.
Start drinking this. I do.
You gotta start drinking some fucking water, and you'll know.
That's his woman, so she wants to do OnlyFans. She owes him some money because she's his. Yes.
All right, so listen, we about to get into it. Before we get into it, I need everybody to hit that like button if y'all ready, man. Hey, I need also everybody in the chat to go show some love to the elder Baba Rashawn Live. If y'all not subscribed to the elder Baba Rashawn, make sure y'all go check him out. I love his Sunday service bills. I'm always in there listening. I don't hardly type in the chat, but I'm always in there listening. Shout out to Baba Rashawn. Been listening to him for years now. Shout out to the Louisiana native from down the way, man. Shout out to Baba Rashawn. We appreciate you for coming through, bro.
It's causing his popularity to increase by a lot.
Start drinking this. I do.
You gotta start drinking some fucking water, and you'll know.
That's his woman, so she wants to do OnlyFans. She owes him some money because she's his. Yes, that's what I said.
Well, that's crazy. You think if a man...
On the surface, you might think he's just another brain-rotted misogynist saying things that his women-hating audience don't often hear in pop culture. But he's way worse than that. Sex trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery in which individuals perform commercial sex through the use of force, fraud, or coercion. Commercial sex isn't like in a progressive ad, it means for money. And now that we've defined that term, we'll know what it means when I come back to it later when I describe his experiences doing that. Andrew Tate has a similar audience to the Steven Crowders, Ben Shapiro's, and Jordan Petersons of the world.
Now, mind you, this is almost 7 months ago that they saying that he was human trafficking women and kidnapping people. This is 6 months ago that these allegations came
Actually,
about.
he dated Jordan Peterson's daughter.
I just want to make
Jordan
that very,
said
very
it
clear.
means for money. And now that we've defined that term, what it means when I come back to it later when I describe his experiences doing that. Andrew Tate has a similar audience to the Steven Crowders, Ben Shapiro's, and Jordan Petersons of the world. Actually, he dated Jordan Peterson's daughter, and both her and Jordan said they loved him, which, you know, is kind of a bad look on all sides. And although I personally hate each of the people I just mentioned, Andrew Tate is much, much worse And I'm not saying that lightly. I fucking hate those three. It's not just misogynistic ideologies and brain-rotted takes with him. He has openly admitted to manipulating women, forcing them into sex work, and then taking that money. So, Aiden Ross, Dave Portnoy, Josh Richards, it's not funny to have him on your show to goof around with.
Suicide.
Or even to debate. When you debate somebody like that, you're inherently legitimizing their arguments. You're acting like their arguments are arguable. Dave Portnoy at least pushed back a little bit, unlike Aiden Ross, who is dick riding by definition a sex trafficker. But Andrew Tate is so far off the deep end, it's like arguing with a Nazi the Jewish people are good, or with a KKK.
These niggas throwing shots at Kanye West and everything. But listen, do you see how they already was trumping up allegations towards Andrew Tate? And let's be real. I've heard several different famous podcasters, a lot of different YouTube personalities express how they do not like Andrew Tate. He's just a dislikable guy. He's probably one of the most disliked persons on the internet right now, besides Tekashi 6ix9ine and Gunna. Okay? He's right up there with these.
That people of color are equal. Or YouTube comment section that Jimmy Fallon is talented. When you even open up that argument on your platform, you're showcasing your viewers that there's two sides to this, really. There's really two sides. There's not two sides. Look at the thumbnail of this official clip from the BFF podcast. Is Andrew Tate a sexist? Framing it like that is like, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. No, he is. He is. Is Andrew Tate a sexist? How about you watch this and then tell me if that should even be a question?
April Baker. That was her name. That was her name. And I was like, you're hot. So I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. I was like, give a fuck. Know about me. 21. I don't care.
I have a sister. My sister and I, we don't really talk. We don't talk because she goes to feminist rallies and believes Trump's a racist.
I do know how to administer CPR. However, I will not administer CPR unless you're a hot female.
I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No sex. No sex involved. Whoa. But you cry then.
Here's a little move. When I
Whoa. See how they trumping up a lot of shit against dude. And mind you, I just want them to keep reiterating this. This is about 7 months ago that people had started suggesting and alluding to that he was human trafficking, kidnapping, and the R word with women. Y'all know what the R word is.
I don't even have to fuck you.
It rhymes
Forget
with
the
great.
sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No sex. No sex involved. But you cry then.
Here's a little move. When I grab you by your neck and you start annoying me, trying to resist, and I just
I could have let that run for an hour and not have even scratched the surface of his dog shit takes. And
so he's talking about women not listening. And he expressed how he should beat women and all these different things. I just want y'all to pay attention. I'm not here to give my opinion on this situation. I'm just here to bring the facts. Y'all know this is the news that y'all can use. This is Big Aboriginal Power Wake and Bake Show. So drop your cities and your states in the chat. I want to know where everybody is in the chat, where y'all at with it this Grand Rising. Peace and blessings to everybody in here. We're going to continue talking about the truth behind Andrew Tate's arrest for human trafficking, kidnapping, and the R word.
horrible opinions. Gotta take a breath. He's not just an ugly misogynist who talks to himself on a podcast. He has also openly admitted to doing things that fit the literal definition of sex trafficking. And I'm saying it like that because I want to make it clear this is not my opinion. This is what Andrew Tate has said. I'm just going to be dropping.
Now, mind you, this is 6 months ago that he's saying that Andrew Tate is a sex trafficker.
To doing things that fit the literal definition of sex trafficking. And I'm saying it like that because I want to make it clear this is not my opinion. This is what Andrew Tate has said. I'm just going to be dropping facts and logic the Shapiro way. So, you know, the way that he got all of that money that he's constantly flexing and saying that he worked so hard for, yeah, he actually got that by manipulating women illegally.
Baba Rashan, I'm telling you, bro, I definitely got to get you in on the channel. I'm looking forward to interviewing you and get some of your background and some of your philosophy on things, man. So please email me. Moderators, if you can drop that email in the chat for Brother Baba Rashan, we would love to have this brother over here and get him over here on the interview over here at Big Aboriginal Power platform.
Transporting them worldwide and pressuring them into sex work that they didn't want to do. Oof. Which, as we learned earlier, is sex trafficking. But anyone can just say that. How do you know it's true? How about we look at what Andrew wrote on his own website? I've been running a webcam studio for nearly a decade. I've had over 75 girls work for me, and my business model is different than 99% of webcam studio owners. Maybe because the ones that are different from him aren't sex trafficking. Over 50% of my employees were actually my girlfriends at the time. Of all my girlfriends, none were in the adult entertainment industry before they met me. Okay, so he thinks that that's cool. He thinks that that's power alpha moves. I disagree. Now, on the surface, when you bring this up, all of his fans will go, well, it's consensual. It's literally just consensual. How are you going to get mad at him for doing something that's consensual? But I have a special gift. Second grade reading comprehension. And when we read this, we can understand that he's saying he targeted women specifically to manipulate them into a relationship. Then they move to Romania and he makes them do sex work and takes the money. Now, what if I told you that just 3 months ago, the Romanian police raided his house and found 2 missing women that he—
Now listen, this is 6 months ago that he was being alluded to being a sex trafficker in human trafficking and kidnapping, and also the R word. Allegations 6 months ago said that he had women from America taken to Romania to use in the sex trafficking industry. It's not ironic that he was caught and allegedly charged with human trafficking and kidnapping from 2 Americans in Romania as of 4 days ago. This particular video is from almost 7 months ago. Pay attention, you guys.
He was making do sex work. You'd probably wonder why he's not in jail. Gift. Second grade reading comprehension. Read this, we can understand that he's saying he targeted women specifically to manipulate them into a relationship. Then they move to Romania and he makes them do sex work and takes the money. Now, what if I told you that just 3 months ago, the Romanian police raided his house and found 2 missing women that he was making do sex work? You'd probably wonder why he's not in jail. Well, the reason he's not in jail is because the case was dismissed. And the stands that eat Andrew Tate's ass will say, that means he's innocent. But, and I hate to bring up OJ, but acquittal doesn't mean innocence.
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world.
But why am I so set on him being a piece of shit? If they said he's innocent and I wasn't there, who am I to judge? Well, Andrew Tate has openly said that the reason he moved to Romania is because of the corruption that runs rampant throughout the government there. Andrew Tate has freely talked about the reason he moved to Romania being corruption is so much easier and more accessible for him there. And you can bribe off police chiefs, judges, government.
He's already been released from jail today, by the way. We will be getting into some of his conversation and him speaking on the charges trumped up against him. But hey, this is the history of Andrew Tate and how this whole human trafficking and kidnapping came about. So we must pay attention to a lot of this, man. So shout out to Andrew, shout out to everybody that don't like him. Hey, I want you to get in the comment section and let me know y'all opinion about this whole thing. So let's go.
Government officials, you can meet with the prime minister if you pay enough. And that's not speculation.
Nigga,
let's roll the clip where he says all that shit himself.
I probably shouldn't say this on the internet, but I'm going to. Romania is completely corrupt from head to toe, right? One of the reasons I love living there so much is because I'm at the very top echelon of society. If I need to speak to the prime minister, I can make that happen, right? I can't do that in the West, yeah? So we went and met with some members of parliament, and they're like, well, it's not us, it's European Union directed all of this COVID lockdown garbage. They knew COVID was a scam. They knew it. Everyone knew it. European Union told us to. They gave us billions in relief funds, bribes to listen. So we can't really open them. You can open them if you don't put the outside lights on and you just like on the sly. So I did a deal with them to open them on the sly and pay bribes. So I was open for like the first month with bribes, but the bribe kept going up because it's Romania, right? The police chief would come. He wants some. And the police chief would call his mate, who's the fucking, I don't know, fire inspector, some jackass, he'd come. Then the alcohol licensing man would come. It was just like everyone's got on the phone like, hey, this casino's still open. They'll pay you to go away. So before you know it, every 5 minutes, someone's in the door for money. And we weren't making money, so we had to close down. So we've been closed until we're still closed to this day.
In other countries, anyone with money and some basic social skills and some nice friends can play the game. If we're going to accept that every single system on the planet is corrupt, why would you live in a place where you cannot access the corruption?
So now how consensual does all this feel? Promising your girlfriend a life of luxury and then moving her to Romania and then saying, you have to do this sex work for me and give me all the money, that's not consensual. That's coercion, which was in the definition of sex trafficking. Now, add on the fact that he can pay off anybody in power. The women legitimately fear for their lives and what would happen to them if they said no. So he himself has admitted to lying to women about the nature of their relationship, moving them to Romania with him, and then getting them to do sex work, which they previously didn't want to do, and then give him the money. And if they don't, well, that sucks. You're already in Romania, where he can take whatever violent action he wants without consequences by bribing anybody he needs to. He himself has laid all of that information out there. And there are people who still think that he's just a quirky little cool guy to have on their podcast. Andrew Tate has laid all the information out there. Information that literally describes him as a sex trafficker. Information that he freely and openly gives unprompted. So if that's what he's giving, who the fuck knows what he's hiding? And I'm not going to speculate on what he could be doing, because what we know he's doing is fucked up. He's not just a misogynist. He's by definition a sex trafficker. And that's not my opinion. That's what he's described. And if there's any brain-rotted Andrew Tate stans watching this thinking, that's baller, look at all that money, you're just jealous he figured out how to do it. Let me be perfectly clear. Yeah, I would like to have more money, but infinitely more than that, I would like to be loved by the people that I love. I would like to have close, vulnerable relationships with my friends and family, and I'd like the ability to do anything I want creatively. And by the way, I've got all that. And I have more money than I need that I get to invest so that I can retire with a family that I love.
No, hey, man, listen. So listen, they already been speculating that Andrew Tate was a sex trafficker almost 6 months ago. Going back 6 months ago, you guys. So we have to pay attention to things like that. We really have to pay attention to things like that. So
Andrew Tate.
I don't want to get into the situation. So that was 6 months ago, before the actual arrest of recent. They already said he was sex trafficking, human trafficking, kidnapping. Let's get into the actual arrest from 4 days ago.
Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have been arrested in Romania. In fact, their residence has been raided, and we are learning more as the story develops. So in the coming days, I'm sure we're gonna have more details about this, but they have been accused of trafficking women.
See, what's crazy is it was an allegation 6 months ago, and it was speculation 6 months ago. When the arrest happened 4 days ago, it no longer became speculation. You understand?
Holding them. So in the coming days, more details about this, but they have been accused of trafficking women, of holding them captive against their will. And the investigation continues. Apparently, the authorities were investigating the Tates because they have been allegedly trafficking multiple women. According to reports, the investigation first began.
Hey, y'all hit that like button. Support the channel out there. At least people support the channel, you guys. Get a few people to support the channel before we continue. Everybody hit that like button. Support the channel. That's not the PayPal at the bottom.
Investigating the Tates because they have been allegedly trafficking multiple women. According to reports, the investigation first began when the US Embassy in Romania got a tip in April that the Tates were holding a US citizen at their home against her will. The authorities searched the Tates' home and have found that women there, as well as another woman who was trafficked. So the woman who they initially found out about was in fact there, and there was an additional woman there who alleges that she was also trafficked. Now, I'm gonna read you from a translated statement, or translated report, I should say, from Romania. It's based on Google Translate, so it might be a little cumbersome, but nonetheless, this is what we know based on local reports from Romania. The police say that the injured persons were allegedly recruited by brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate, who misled them that they wanted a marriage/cohabitation relationship and that they had real feelings of love for them. The women were allegedly later transported and housed in buildings through acts of physical violence and mental coercion, intimidation, constant surveillance, control of control of basically just control of them and where they go, whether they can leave or not. They were sexually exploited by the group's members by forcing them to perform pornographic.
I think he quit bribing that corrupt system that he openly mentioned about. He could corrupt them, he can bribe them. I think he quit bribing them, and they crashed down on him. We already know that his mansion was raided 6 months ago for the same exact reasons. He was released, and none of the charges stuck a Trump. They dissolved. Only 6 months later to be hit with the same charges, only to have them stick. So I believe he quit paying and bribing the Romanian government, you know,
through acts of physical violence and mental coercion, intimidation, constant surveillance, control of basically just control of them and where they go, whether they can leave or not. They were sexually exploited by the group's members by forcing them to perform pornographic acts in order to produce and disseminate. So they were filming them in pornographic acts in order to sell, I guess. That's what the allegation is here. Through social media platforms, materials having such a character, and by submitting to the execution.
No, his charges haven't stuck yet, but they're going to stick, man. Last time, the reason they didn't, none of the witnesses want to come forward. They didn't even have hold of the witnesses, allegedly. But we will get to this here in a second. These are going to stick. They already, the Romanian government had already prepped these people to tell on him. Hell, they probably already paid these women to tell
of a work in a forced manner. So basically, the women in question are alleging that they've been trafficked by the Tate brothers, and that's what this investigation is about. Now, why is it that they're only being investigated today? Similar accusations have been floating around for quite some time now. And it turns out that when Andrew Tate decided to go after Greta Thunberg, he ended up telling on himself, floating around for quite some time by the Tate brothers, and that investigation is about. Now, why is it that they're only being investigated today? Similar accusations have been floating around for quite some time now. And it turns out that when Andrew Tate decided to go after Greta Thunberg, he ended up telling on himself. Authorities were waiting to see if they could find his exact location. They didn't know whether he was actually in Romania or not. So let's take a look at this tweet from Alejandro Caballero, who says, or Caballo, who says Romanian authorities needed proof that Andrew Tate was in the country, so they reportedly used his social media posts. His ridiculous video yesterday featured a pizza from a Romanian pizza chain, Jerry's Pizza, confirming he was in fact in the country. This is absolutely epic, and I totally agree with her take there. Cenk.
Hold on, so they used a pizza delivery spot to confirm whether or not he was in his house or in the country. So they use the pizza people. Now listen, I'm gonna just have to take this back because this is key. This is how they got this is how they got Khalid Muhammad. The government did not like Khalid Muhammad. They had try to trump charges up on Khalid Muhammad, and he was very secure. The reason he died is from some random poison and illness that allegedly came from the pizza man. They said he ordered pizza. Less than 30 minutes after him eating the pizza, he was sick and passed away. So this is a key that the government used. So we know that. And what else did we know that they surround pizza with the government? Pizzagate. Pizzagate was also linked in the human and children sex trafficking. Excuse my French. So they use these pizza things as a symbolic understanding, or to get information from them, or to just gather information from them. I just want to make that clear to y'all guys, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's go.
Greta Thunberg, he ended up telling on himself. Authorities were waiting to see if they could find his exact location. They didn't know whether he was actually in Romania or not. So let's take a look at this tweet from Alejandro Caballero, who says, or Caballo, who says Romanian authorities needed proof that Andrew Tate was in the country, so they reportedly used his social media posts. His ridiculous video yesterday featured a pizza from a Romanian pizza chain, Jerry's Pizza, confirming he was in fact in the country. This is absolutely epic, and I totally agree with her take there. Cenk.
So this is amazing. Look, Tate's a douche, and that is acknowledged by nearly everyone except
people hate him. But just because you hate him and don't like what he says doesn't mean you should silence him and trump up charges against him to hush him up. This is another tactic. We've seen it done with Kyrie Irving. We've seen it done with Kanye West. They do various different tactics to hush you up so you're not speaking. They're trying to eliminate freedom of speech. I don't think you guys actually ever actively acted in freedom of speech on a high level. We've seen that you get canceled, silenced, and put in a quiet box for speaking your mind and literally expressing freedom of speech. Whether you're right or wrong, whether people like it or not, you should not be able to cancel people for the words that they choose to use.
His fans. And actually his fans like him for being a douche. So even they acknowledge it. But you're allowed to be one. And so he runs this cheesy webcam business. It feels exploitive. I get it if you hate him for it, but you're allowed to run a webcam business. He has said that women who get raped, that they're partly responsible for it. He just can't be a worse guy. He's just the most awful guy you've ever heard of, right? But that's not illegal. But holding women against their will is definitely illegal. And it is
right.
And bringing them in from other countries on false promises and then kidnapping them and forcing them into sex work is about as illegal as it gets. That's sex trafficking, human trafficking. And this dude is rightfully in a world of trouble.
Yeah, and in regard to his webcam business, there are allegations that the women, some of the women at least, have been forced to perform in those.
And mind you, these people don't like him. So if they could grab a hold of him and hit the hammer on him, he's going to get smashed, y'all. They're going to throw.
Yeah, and in regard to his webcam business, there are allegations that the women, some of the women at least, have been forced to perform in those webcam performances. And obviously they're pornographic in nature. So I'm guessing the report that I read from earlier was referring to that. I also wanted to talk a little more about that scam webcam business. So according to a report by the Mirror earlier this year,
webcam business a scam. Now this is his lucrative business. A lot of people don't know, how did Andrew Tate become this rich? It's because of this webcam business, y'all. They're trying to take away his money. Peep the game like they did to Kanye.
Was referring to that. I also wanted to talk a little more about that scam webcam business. So according to a report by the Mirror earlier this year, Callis, Tristan, and Andrew Tate admit their business is a total scam, but say the authorities cannot stop them. They claim to run a studio where 75 lingerie-clad models take calls from fans paying $4 a minute. Punters can ask for private shows and pay for tips at their own risk. Some women will claim that they have crippling university debt, a family member in need of private health care, or a dream of moving to the UK, sometimes even telling men they want to meet them. And it turns out that some, if not all, of the women involved were doing so, again, against their will. So I have some more details about this, again, translated from local reports out of Romania. But I wanted to get some more of your thoughts, Cenk. I mean, look, this is why it's so important for progressives and, broadly speaking, the left to offer an alternative to all of these grifters who reach out to disillusioned, discouraged young men who might feel alienated, who might feel lonely. Because if we don't do it, people like Andrew Tate and, to a lesser degree, Jordan Peterson. I mean, I think Jordan Peterson is a little crazy, but I don't think he's a criminal. They're the ones who offer support to these guys, and we don't want that. That's a really bad idea.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you something super depressing about that. My kids are 10 and 12, and they've heard of Tate.
Oh my God.
And so the fact that it's filtering down to even kids like that is gross. And tons of right wingers and young boys who don't, who just haven't been around enough. One of our members wrote, and I agree with him, like, hey, this is indoctrinating people into believing in old stupid things that they used to teach us, right? and that sucks. And that we thought we were past, but no, they're bringing back all this awful ideas. And my kids do partly know him as the guy who got clowned by their cousin Hasanabi. Okay, but that's not why they heard about him. They heard about him because through the grapevine of the short videos, et cetera, et cetera. So my point there is, it is a toxic poison that is spreading in the culture. That a guy this despicable has tons and tons of fans and viewers and people fighting that like him online, and that's discouraging for sure. Although Greta Thunberg also set him straight. And by the way, this, I don't know if you've got this one, Anna, but the scam that they run, how they lure them into Romania, oh my God, it's disgusting.
Website visitors bouncing? Stress less.
Hey, sorry about the
Convert
ads,
more.
you guys. Make sure y'all hit
Try
that like
Hotjar.
button. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Sorry about the ads.
This, I don't know if you've got this one, Anna, but the scam that they run, how they lure them into Romania, oh my God, it's disgusting.
Yes, so let me again read to you from a report that was translated from Romania. The Romanian authorities learned that the Tates had a video chat studio which operated in a building located approximately 500 meters from their villa. Now, several young women were found there. The young women from America stated, or the young woman, I should say, from America stated that she met Tristan Tate through a social network, and he seduced her and convinced her to buy a plane ticket and come to Romania. She allegedly abandoned her boyfriend and came to live with the British millionaire, but found herself threatened and forced to work as a video chat model. Frightened, she contacted her ex-boyfriend, who in turn notified the US Embassy in Bucharest. So
now, mind you, all this happened about 6 months ago. Is when the girl went over there, left her boyfriend. The boyfriend was worrying about her, got contact with the Romanian United States Embassy, saying that his wife or his girlfriend was going there to chill, go to Romania. Now is being held behind her will. You know what I'm saying? She's been forced to stay. So this has been allegations against this dude. Not saying that they're true or not. But 6 months ago, they said that he was human trafficking, kidnapping women from America and other places in Romania. What's the odds of them finding women at his house allegedly being human trafficked in Romania? We got a question.
A building located approximately 500 meters from their villa. Now, several young women were found there. The young women from America stated, or the young woman, I should say, from America stated that she met Tristan Tate through a social network, and he seduced her and convinced her to buy a plane ticket and come to Romania. She allegedly abandoned her boyfriend and came to live with the British millionaire, but found herself threatened and forced to work as a video chat model. Frightened, she contacted her ex-boyfriend, who in turn notified the US Embassy in Bucharest. So that is how the tip came about. It had to do with an American citizen who traveled there under false pretenses. She was lied to. A former policewoman was allegedly in league with the Tates and was also arrested. She is accused of, in addition to working side by side with the rest of the models, putting pressure on the girls held in the studio against their will. So for all the young men out there who look up to Tate and think that he's super cool, just understand that when he's in those videos surrounded by women, it's very likely that those women are there by force. So there's nothing cool about that. There's nothing desirable about a guy like Andrew Tate. He's unattractive physically, mentally, emotionally. He's a bad guy, and you shouldn't be looking up to him. You shouldn't be inspired by him. He is very likely a criminal and someone who preys on vulnerable women.
Yeah, and look, no one looks great in this story, and the way that they got that particular woman to go to Romania doesn't speak well of anyone, including her. But just because somebody left their boyfriend to go pursue a rich guy doesn't mean you get to kidnap them and force them into sex work. That's insane and deeply criminal. I have to say things like that because I guarantee you there are guys out there right now saying, "Oh, should have come
in that video."
No, nobody has kidnapping and sex trafficking coming to them. That's insane. I can't believe we live in a society where I have to clarify that. By the way, get a load, of course, of the irony of the right wing who claim that they're so against human trafficking, largely support.
So you hear it, man. That's the charges trumped up against Andrew Tate, man. I do want to kind of get into his conversation because they throwing shade at Andrew for various different things. One of them about his webcam businesses, which is how he became, such a rich man. Very lucrative and profitable business. Let's get into
kickboxing. You started a webcam business, 75 girls.
Yes, let's talk about the webcam business. Yeah. Yes. So that's the story. So for anyone watching this who doesn't know my story, I'm fighting. I became 4-time world champion. I was 28 when I won my 4th world title. And one day I woke up and I literally just woke up. I looked at my bank. I just won a world title fight, but I hadn't fought in 6 months. By the time I paid all my back rent and paid my car payments, all that, I looked at my bank. I had like $3,000, $4,000 in there. And I'm like, I'm giving up my entire life. And I don't even know how I'm going to live. I need to get rich. I want to get rich. So I said to my coach, look, I'm going to take a couple months off and I'm going to focus purely on money. And the story is, and this is a completely true story, I'm sitting with my brother and I'm like, how can we get rich? You know what's amazing? Now I have money. Lots of people always ask me, how do I get rich? And I say, when's the last time you talked about money? When's the last time you sat down with your friends and refused to talk about anything else but how to make money? How are you making money? How are you making money? How am I making money? How can we make money together? How's that guy making money? How's that coffee shop there making money? Is that coffee shop making money? I don't know. Do they sell cake? No. Why don't they sell cake? Everyone in here is a businessman. If they had a cute young waitress, a girl, instead of a guy, they'd probably sell more coffee. Like no one analyzes anything. They just want to get rich, right? I want to be rich, but they have no plan to get rich. And a hope and a plan are very different things. I explain this to people all the time. Everyone has a dream, but no one has a plan. And nothing good is going to happen on accident, right? I didn't become world champion on accident. I didn't wake up and someone go, how'd you become world champion? And I went, oops. You have to plan for it. So I said to Tristan, we need to discuss money. We need to plan this and we need to work out a way we can get rich. And that's when I started analyzing and understanding banks and the credit system and the money system, how the world actually works. And then I got really pissed off because I realized that money isn't real and it's all a scam. And the banks are destroying us in real time with inflation. And I still don't have any. So I was really mad. And I'm writing down, I was watching some YouTube videos like financial advice, and we're talking about assets, liabilities, etc. And I'm writing down all my assets and I'm trying to work out what I have that's worth money. And the only thing I writ down, because I had a car, but what's that worth? Nothing. I'm big and strong, but I'm already fighting. I can't think of anything else to do with that. The only thing I had was, because I've been fighting all around the world, I had these 6 girlfriends, right? Because you'd win the world title, you fuck a ring girl, she falls in love with you, you're the big millionaire in London. Of course, she thinks you live in the balling life. You're in some tiny apartment with a door lock. So I had these girlfriends, and I thought, well, I can't open a strip club. It costs money to open a strip club. And I'm kind of racking my brain, and by absolute coincidence, I'm going around the internet and I saw in the corner, talk to live girls now. And I'd never in my life, I was never a porn guy. I've never been watching porn or clicking on these things. And I said, talk to live girls. So I clicked on it and there's some chick there on a computer. Like, hi, did it. And I was like, my girls can do that. So that was the very beginning. That was the eureka moment. And I walked into my brother's bedroom and I said, we're going to start a webcam company. That was the beginning of it all.
And how do you end up getting 75 girls to work for you?
Yeah. So, and this is the thing that's interesting about it, because when people hear this story and they say like a pimp, etc., people imagine me to be this exploitive, horrible, evil man, which is absolutely and utterly the complete opposite. I'm not trying to convince the internet I'm a nice guy, right? Because I don't give a shit. I'm just telling the truth. So the beginning of it was I messaged my 6 girlfriends and told them they're all coming to live with me, and I had a job for them in London. 2 of them wouldn't come. 4 of them agreed. I was like, we're going to make money, a bunch of money. You're going to live with me, blah, blah, blah. We're going to live the dream. Right now, I'm in between apartments, so I'm in this shitty apartment, because kickboxing's not boxing, bro. You're not making millions like the boxers are. So the 4 girls flew in. I sat them all down at a table. They're all like, who's this chick? Who's this chick? Told them all the truth. I just straight sat there and said, listen, I've been with you all. I'm starting a webcam business. I'm going to get rich. Some of you are going to come with me to the top of the mountain, or if you're pissed off, you can fucking fly home. Which is very matter of fact to the point, because I needed money. At this point, now I have not agreed to take another fight. I need money now. So 2 of them left. 2 of them agreed to stay. And the beginning of my cam empire was this tiny little apartment, me and my 2 girlfriends living in this house, right? And they went on cam together as a duo, as a team, to start making money. And that was the beginning of it. And the interesting thing about it was these girls were so inept from a business perspective. Like, they were very beautiful and they're nice girls. I can't say anything bad about them, but they were not, women do not have a business mind. So they'd sit on webcam, right? And an old dude would sit there. And the old dude would say, what kind of guy do you like? And they'd say, oh, I don't know, someone in shape who's rich and young. And I'd be like, no, he's an old dude. You have to say, I'm tired of these young guys messing me around. I need an older guy who's ready to settle down. I don't care if he has money as long as he'll take care of me. If he's a young guy, you say, I'm tired of these old guys perving on me. You need to sell the dream. So I'm training these girls. And it got to the point where it was easier if I just typed my...
He kind of put his neck out there, man. He likes to be the guy that everybody hates and
myself. So what we ended up doing was we had the 2 girls on camera with a keyboard, which wasn't plugged in, doing this. And then I was behind the screen talking to the dudes, saying the right things, and start dragging money out the internet. And for me, I mean, this is a long time ago, right? This is about, how old am I now? I'm 34. So I was about 28. So about 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago, right? And making money online nowadays is far more popular than it was even 8 years ago. Who do you know 8 years ago who made money from YouTube or from online?
Yeah,
nobody.
It's just booming. It's just starting.
It's just starting. So when I started dragging money from the internet, it was like mind blowing to me. And I'm sitting there typing, and I'd type 16, 17 hours a day, but I'd pull in, let's say, $3,000 a day, $4,000 a day. So that became my new life, right? I went from kickboxer to fucking pretend girl on the internet for about 3 months. I'm just typing until the girls learn. And once the girls learn, they could do it themselves. Then I thought, I don't know, I need some more chicks. And that was kind of the beginning of the cam empire.
So that's him.
I first made my...
That's him explaining the webcam business. You understand what I'm saying? So we first have to understand that Andrew Tate just found the lucrative way to that porn industries use women. He tapped into it in a different lane. I mean, I can't say it's a bad thing. I mean, it is exploiting, but other people is exploiting and doing the same thing. He's just doing it with his own webcam business at his own house in Romania, to where people is not privy to American style women. You understand? A white American.
Drew's cousin Luke speaks.
Let's get into it. This is Tate tells all, man.
First thing I want to tell you guys is I promise you that Tate is too rich and too smart to do anything illegal. He's been too rich and too smart to do anything illegal for a very, very long time. As long as I've lived with him, I've never seen him do anything illegal at all in any way, shape, or form. Tate also, because he's foreseen of things, he hopes this happen. He's told you guys this would happen. He has many interview clips where he said this would happen. It's a 3-life process when you're someone that that let's say the Matrix or the mainstream news or the people in charge do not like you. It's a 3-step process. First, they try and cancel you. So they tried to cancel Tate. They really did. Unfortunately for them, they failed. So they failed on that end. So if they fail on canceling you, what's the next move? Well, the next move is jail. And by the way, you can see this playbook. They do this playbook with Julian Assange. They do it with credible people. It's what they do. First, they try and discredit you and cancel you, so no one listens to you. If people keep listening to you, then they have to try and discredit you further and try and put you in jail. That's the next move. And that's what the Matrix has done. The Matrix is now trying to put Andrew in jail. It's completely bogus charges, but unfortunately, Romania is, you guys can look this up, is known for corruption. And unfortunately, corruption also works to where if the mainstream and the Matrix wants you, they can find a corrupt judge to sign a bullshit paper to get your house raided. And that's really what it is. It's one judge signs one paper, and now your house gets raided, and then you get, and that's how it goes. That's just how it goes. So obviously that's all in the news now because that's what it takes to discredit, right? Just the house raid alone is massively discrediting. Julian Assange, right? I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's the WikiLeaks guy who reported a bunch of news that the US government didn't want to get reported. Then one day out of nowhere, some Swedish girl said that he raped her. And there's no evidence at all that that happened ever. And I'm pretty sure the charges were dropped and it never even went to court. But by then he ran away and hid in exile in some embassy. He was in that embassy forever. Then they dropped those charges and they added on some new charges about leaking sensitive information, like a sort of terrorist thing. So anyway, that's the playbook they played on Assange. Step 2 done. Will they attempt step 3? Because step 3 is if they can't cancel you and if they can't put you in jail, or if jail doesn't ruin your influence, the next thing they do is they kill you. They Epstein you. And Andrew clearly said on multiple podcasts he will never kill himself. Andrew knew that this would happen eventually. It was always a possibility on the board. It was always, okay, well, we've done well in not getting canceled. We're not going to shut up because we're going to keep changing lives for the better. And okay, so that means step 2 is jail. And Andrew expressed in many podcasts that he knew that that was the case, and that's why he was worried. And obviously he was worried for a good reason, as we can see now. Because frankly, I'm extremely, extremely surprised this happened. I've been living with the guy forever, and I can tell you guys, it's not true in any way, shape, or form. It's complete, just literal nonsense. I actually can't believe it. It makes me really not trust the justice system at all in any way, shape, or form.
Comment your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and turn on.
Yeah, man, y'all let me know how y'all feel about that situation. That's allegedly his cousin, which I expect for his cousin to speak on his behalf. You know what I'm saying? I expect for his cousin to speak on his behalf, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into another one, man, because allegedly he appeared in they saying he was released, which I'm gonna give an update to that as well. He was not released, but we'll get into that in a second. But he was released for court. So let's get into it. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit that like button. Video can support the channel. Cash out and take that information at the bottom of the screen if you enjoy my.
Hey guys, it's your girl Dee, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. So I have a quick update for you guys on the whole Andrew and Tristan Tate situation. So Andrew and Tristan Tate have been released. Romanian officials have confirmed that Andrew Tate wasn't arrested on human trafficking charges. However, he is being questioned for money laundering. Okay, so, like I said before, I don't have, much information, only what they're putting out there so far. This is interesting that now it changed from the human trafficking charges to being questioned for money laundering. So this is interesting how this has changed. And like I said before, we shall see what happens, what turns out, what they actually find, or if there's anything to find on Andrew Tate. So I don't know. I just wanted to update this because someone actually let me know that they actually released him. And so he's been released. And this is the update on this whole arrest of Andrew and Tristan Tate. Now, what's interesting is there is a video that is circulating of Andrew Tate actually explaining why he was arrested and how this was all going to play out. He's actually said that this was going to happen. I thought that was interesting as well to see a video or see video clips of him saying, hey, when you get to this point or you're, exposing the truth, allegedly, this is what's going to happen. So I found that quite interesting that he basically laid out what is happening right now. So only time can tell what actually comes of this, what happens. But I'm gonna go ahead and play this video clip for you guys, and I definitely want you to chime in the comments. I want to know your thoughts on all of this. Do you think he's a target, or do you just think that it's something else? I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this, but I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. Here we go.
So let's talk about where you are, Andrew, right now in this moment. What is like going through your head right now? You've been banned of many social medias. You haven't done a podcast in a while. So what's your thoughts as to like what are your plans now, or like what do you feel about what's happened to you, and what's your moves? Or I mean, I don't expect you to reveal them, but what's your plans?
Yeah, so the Matrix attacked me.
Yeah,
they tried to remove me from social media.
They used their bullets.
I'm still all over social media, so they failed. what's scary about it, the only thing I will say I don't like about being banned is that you get 3 lives when you attack powerful people. They first ban you and try and shut you up. Secondly, they'll put you in jail for something you didn't do. And thirdly, they'll kill you. That's kind of upsetting. But
that's kind of upsetting.
It is. I like to, it's kind of upsetting. I like to think that people at home know if I ever ended up in a jail cell and the media started printing why, that they know it's a pure lie and they made it up.
Yeah.
But that's kind of scary. Outside of that, the ban in and of itself has not, I don't care, bro. It's made no difference to my life. The only thing Instagram was good for was a bunch of chicks, and that's all. That's the only thing I used it for.
And you have them.
I do okay. You know, I don't need it, so I don't care about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I do think the social media companies have made a mistake. I think they're now realizing they've made a mistake.
Are they contacting you?
I can't say what's happening, but I do believe I will be reinstated. However, it's truly not that important at this time. If I had to martyr my social media accounts to show the world that everything I was saying was true about the Matrix, then it was worth it, right? All they did was prove me completely and utterly right.
Yeah, you said it 100 times on different episodes. I'm gonna be deleted. They're gonna try to silence me. I wish someone would make a compilation of all these clips because you said it like 100 times.
Yep, I said it over and over again.
They're gonna remove me. They're gonna ban me. They're gonna.
I knew exactly what was going to happen, and they proved me completely and utterly right, and it backfired. They tried to put a media spin on the event and convince the world that I'm a bad person, and that has failed. Nobody believes I'm a bad person. 99% of the comments on any of my videos are positive. I'm speaking to people who are now waking up and understanding that the media machine lies. And the only people who truly dislike me are the slave minds. If I ever hear about somebody disliking me, when you ask them why, they don't know. They don't know.
All right, so what do you guys think about the video? Y'all let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. That is once again very interesting that the man sit there and said what was going to happen and what would happen. And I don't know, it seems like that's what's happening. It does. So listen, I'm like this. If a person has committed a crime or did something that they should not have been doing, that's illegal or whatever, then yes, you should be arrested. You should be prosecuted to the fullest extent. You should do the time for the crime, right? But if you haven't really committed a crime or did anything, they don't have anything on you, everything's coming up clean, then I don't think anybody should be accused or prosecuted or anything for something that they haven't been proven to do. You see what I'm saying? So in this particular case, it's still unclear of what's really going on. First is human trafficking, now it's money laundering. So what is it? You know what I'm saying? And the whole video of them arresting him seems extra, as if they really had solid proof that he actually did something. And the way, the way it all happened, it looked like a movie. It looked like a movie. Honestly, it looked like it was a movie or a TV show or something. And so, and then just to, turn around and release him and then say that it's something else. They're saying that the allegations allegedly of human trafficking was not true.
Well, I'm gonna give an update as of an hour ago. As of an hour ago, Andrew Tate was not released, but he did appear in court, and he will remain in jail for the next 30 days, according to this data right here. Let's get to it.
So, guys, breaking news: Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been jailed for 30 days as the investigation continues. No bail appeal possible. This means there is significant evidence for jail time, and it could be up to 20 years if convicted. The official report says Tate to stay in jail for 30 more days. A Romanian court has said that Andrew Tate will remain in prison for another 30 days. He was arrested together with his brother, Tristan, on suspicion of human trafficking, an R charge, and forming an organized crime group. So yeah, from living a lavish lifestyle on private jets and the best cars in the world, he'll now be spending time in one of the worst prisons in the world in Romania. They're meant to have some of the worst conditions for jails. This does not mean Andrew Tate is 100% guilty now. It means they may have a lot of evidence on him and more time to do research about this case and come up with something to put at him. But right now, 30 days is when we get more answers. Other information about this case is too sensitive to post. It keeps getting leaked, but I'll put it over on my IG in case it gets removed.
Well, guess what? We are in season 2. The baby's away, the moms will play.
So he was released with no bail, man. Andrew Tate and his brother are being questioning on suspicion of human trafficking. Like I said, it has nothing to sticking. Nothing is the sticking right now. They just got Trump charges. They're trying to trump up on them. So they probably just want some cheese. They probably just want the bribe, and he probably being stubborn asshole like he is, not wanting to pay. So listen, man, y'all get in the comment section and let me know how y'all feel about this situation. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that situation, man. Y'all get in the comment section, like, comment, subscribe. It's your brother Original Power, and we out, man. Peace.
See, my life has been in motion. I'm a little windy. I'm not giving up yet. If you with me, time to place up your bet. Ain't no turning back. Got niggas who ran. When we caught his ass, got caught in that jail. Yeah, you know who I am. Yeah, you know who I am. I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Is that feeling in your stomach? You can feel it coming. Yeah, you can feel it coming. Fake love, that snake you in your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it. That's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it. That's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face, cause that's how God wrote it. Too much fake love, that snake you in your face, love. Your face, love. That snake you in your face, love. I told my brothers we gon' make it. That's how God wrote it. And the snake gon' show his face.